My name is Tim, and you're watching Cybersports as we're coming at you with the Rift Rivals straight out of Berlin. And with me, I have Zven. How you doing, man?
Doing pretty alright. Went 1-1 today, so I'm feeling okay.
I'm just going to kind of jump straight into it because obviously you guys have super busy days, and I also imagine you want to like watch a bit of the games, but also eat because it's that time of the day right now. Rift Rivals being this kind of new thing, we talked about it very briefly before, but like with its timing in the middle of everything right now, you're still kind of preparing for Worlds, you're still kind of doing stuff. There's an entirely new patch coming out. How do you find like the timing of the event itself?
I think the placement of tournaments okay. It's kind of like I am Katowice in the spring split. It's like the same timing, kind of just in summer split instead, so it's okay. I think the tournament format is pretty bad overall. Like I like the 3v3 teams, best of one into best of one, best of five only tournament format, but I think the placement is fine for the tournament. It's all right in my opinion.
Okay. So I mean, speaking of, you said like the 3 versus 3 system.
Yeah.
What's like the take of that? What's the problem with it? Is it because that you only like get to play technically just 3 teams? You may as well just be one versus all of them anyway, or what's the issue?
It kind of feels like you're playing against your own region in a way, and the enemy region to battle for best of 5. And then in the end, even if one region were to go 0-18 best of ones, if that region lost the best of 5, the tournament was lost for them. So you can technically go 18-0 in the best of ones and then lose best of 5, and then the tournament is won by the team with the best of 5 win. So it's like you play so many best of ones just to decide who plays the best of 5, rather than just playing like a different kind of format or something else. But
would you have preferred the original format, the knockout, where you had like the worst teams facing each other first and doing the knockout, or would that just also have been a bit meh?
that would be meh, because then you have to seed differently. Like they'll probably make us be the first seed team because we won the spring split. So, but right now we're not the first seeded team in EU. I mean, first place team at least. So that was make people like but Fnatic and Unicorns are higher in the place standing, so it's bad format. Blah blah blah. So I think it's just hard to kind of schedule a NA versus EU tournament. You don't have like a bracket like with more teams like a Worlds, for example. So it just feels like the format isn't really the best in my opinion. But I mean, it's okay anyways. You get some games and you get to play best of ones. Good practice, so I'm fine with it.
Yeah. Speaking of practice, actually, because I mean, you guys went into MSI and did amazingly. But then coming back from MSI, it kind of felt like the time lost at MSI has been hurting afterwards because you're kind of playing catch up now. You know, you haven't played as much. The others are just constantly that little bit forehand, nice one. I just pulled a Danish one there, didn't I? Ahead. And we see it with TSM as well. They're also just kind of maybe finding their way back into that because they're behind. Do you feel that effect? Do you think that's maybe what's causing the slump, or what's happening there?
It has to do with it, but I don't think it's the reasoning only. I think we took 1 week break. We let our Korean players, Trick and Expect, go home for 1 more week. First week we played with 3 subs actually. And then in the second week we had 1 day of scrims before Fnatic. We lost the series. We played against Misfits. We realized that we don't really know the patch yet because we don't know the worth of Herald versus Infernal Drakes. And then I will go bot lane and Mitty will go top lane. And then we both get caught same time at the map and we're like, sucks. And then in the week 5 or 4 against Unicorns, we had some really bad drafts where we were like, even if we play very, very well in this draft, we can't actually win the game because we're just too outdrafted in this game. So we have to play like very, very perfect to win. And then now we're kind of starting to like get draft mode together. We have priorities as in like Rift Herald versus Infernal Drakes, what side to play for, how to draft more CC and more like magic and 80 damage. So we have like more balanced team comps nowadays. We have more scaling, more early game, just better comps, better like everything now. So I think we're on our way back now and we're soon back to form, I hope.
Okay. So you're actively like identifying the issues and then actively moving forward with this. We're training this. How do you do that? I mean, do you practice this stuff in like scrims, obviously, but do you have like internal sessions where you practice things if they're like glaringly obvious, or how do you best prepare?
Well, to improve, you need to figure out what you're doing wrong. And in a lot of games, we felt like we were kind of powerless. And against Unicorns, we would draft almost full AP comp with a Caitlyn against tanks, assassins, and they would have more damage, more tank, more CC, everything. And we were like, the only thing we have going for us is good laning phase. But we can't actually snowball enough. So we're like, we need to have draft with more CC. And not drafts that require jungle attention in every lane. So don't play Fiora with Syra Ash bot lane. Play carry top lane champions with Braum and that kind of stuff. So you have like a tank in one side of the map at least. Play CC so you can actually like come back if you fall behind and also end the game easier with CC or pick potential. Yeah. So we just realized after every week what mistakes we were making that loses games. And against Misfits we lost because we didn't play on the right side of the map every time. So we would often lose Rift Herald or Infernal Drakes for free because we were playing for the other objective when we shouldn't be. So we're just getting like our priorities and such in place now, and I feel like we're getting slowly back to it.
Okay. One last question just to kind of wrap it all up and set you on your merry way. Is there any like matchup coming during this like Rift Rival setup that you are in fact kind of looking forward to, or something that will prove to be a challenge, like something where you think, okay, we'll get something from this?
Well, I think all the teams are pretty fine in my opinion. I have played against all of them, up to the carries at least. I played against Arrow Worlds 2015, when it was KT, I played against Double before, I played against Wild Turtle, Kniggy before. So I play against all of them, bot lane wise, I think they're all pretty fine. I think team wise, we will get a lot of experience. And teams have different priorities, different play styles, different ideas. Like, as you can see, they really prioritize their Tristana, as you saw today. Yeah. There's Nearly Jungle from P1. There's different like kind of ideas of how to play the game, and it gives you like a good practice and how you match up against them. And you also get to learn some things from them. So I think it's good practice for us for our LCS weeks.
Okay, well, thank you very much for joining us. For the rest of you, if there are any comments and things you're looking forward to, obviously leave them in the comment section below. And for more on the Rift Rivals, join us here at cybersport.com. Ta.